Hello everyone, this is Tetrafolium, and I'm here to bring you Revival 3, Round 6. It goes by too quick. The gamers today are two gamers I'm actually pretty familiar with. They're both teammates of mine on a team tour that I'm playing in right now. To the left is Mint Yerb, who is responsible for many of the thumbnails, so shout out to the man. And Tigersuit, who I may be referring to as Juke throughout this, so don't get confused, who is my captain on that team. So this is going to be a fantastic game for me. I get to roast my teammates, so let's see how it goes. I know both of them like to play offense with Endeavor Swampert, so if you're very into the slop that's been going around, stay tuned. Salaman's going for Flamethrower into a lead Celebi. Lead Celebi is not super duper common. I have seen it before, particularly on like Skarm Mag teams. So we might be seeing a Skarmory and a Magneton from Mint Yerb. Gets a Thunder Wave off on opposing Skarmory, so that's quite good. Oh, and a Fortress. Okay. Fortress is really nice into Skarmory, and this Skarmory has no item. Thief Skarmory? Yes. So not quite as nice, but Fortress can set up spikes and spin for a pretty long time against Skarmory. Will get worn down by the Drill Pecks though, but pretty fortunate with the full pair of turns. And Fortress is going to get out of here with about 60%, 3 layers of spikes. Skarmory doesn't even get the spike on the exit, but Celebi does not have a fantastic move to punish the Skarmory, just going to go for Leech Seed. Juke gonna reveal his own Celebi. That's Shockwave. What? Shockwave is kind of interesting. It's a move that never misses. Not that that really matters because most of the accuracy reducing effects have been banned from this tournament. But it's a option to hit Skarmory, for example, who is weak to electric, while maintaining your hidden power Grass for extra damage. Starmie comes in. It is hiding itself from us. It's a shy Starmie. Oh, well, it's kind of embarrassed because it missed that spin there. Gengar to block the spin. What? Thunder? That is also not a very common option for Gengar. Usually you'll see Thunderbolt. Wow, okay. Celebi on Celebi action. This Celebi on Tigersuit's side has been burned. Going to recover. Eventually it's going to switch out into Metagross. I'm going to guess that Juke's last is Blissey. It's the triple natural cure team. Some have called it Unemployed 6. I wouldn't know much about it because unfortunately I do have a job. Actually, yeah, that's a lie. I do like that team. Not about it having a job. I do have a job, unfortunately. Alright, Celebi is coming in on Skarmory. We're just going to see a little bit of a dance here, and I am right that it is a last Mon Blissey for Tigersuit. Rapid spin, critical hit, outpacing the leftovers. That's quite important. But here comes a Wish. Into a Will-O-Wisp. This is going to be a long set, ladies and gentlemen, and all other beautiful people. This is kind of cool, though, because I get to, like, ramble, and I think some of you have mentioned that you like that sort of stuff. Celebi on Celebi. What do I think about Celebi? Well, I think it's a really cool Pokemon. I'm really into Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, as you probably could guess by the music, and Purity Forest is quite the challenge. I think it's really cool that you get to befriend a mythical Pokemon at the end of it. The Mystery Dungeon does a really good job with making the legendaries and the mythicals feel pretty special, I think. The boss fights are way cooler than in mainline Pokemon games, in my opinion. Rapid spin, keeping the spikes off from Mint Yerb's side. Blissey is the answer to Skarmory. I mean, there's not really much of an answer wholesale. I think most of these plays are kind of just being made to wear away some PP. Gengar's coming in. We're gonna see like a focus punch or something. Nope. An explosion. No. Just gonna Will-O-Wisp, making some. Is this even progress? I mean, it's getting some PP usage out. Eventually, Juke is going to run out of Leech Seeds. This is very important. When you're playing a fat, slow-paced team, as both of our combatants today have chosen, it's important in a lot of cases to be able to wear the opponent's Celebi out of Leech Seeds, because Celebi is not very threatening to most fat Pokemon, like Blissey, like even, I don't know if we have a bulky water on Mint Yerb's team, but even that, without the Leech Seed. Well, I guess super effective grass moves can be nice into the bulky waters, but... Shockwave coming down, doing 21% from Salamence, which indicates to me that this is a... No, I don't even know. Probably just mixed ments. Substitute, okay. And a critical hit from the Brick Break. That's going to make some progress. Okay, never mind. Probably going to see a soft-boiled. Yep, don't want to risk losing to another Brick Break coming down. Wish to Fortress is really nice. Fortress is kind of a greedy Pokemon, I think. You want a lot of support options for it. It kind of wants Pursuit to handle the spin blockers, i.e. Gengar. It kind of wants Wish to heal itself back up because it's going to be taking a lot of Spikes damage in order to spin away the Spikes. Is Thunder the best move that Mint Yerb has to hit Salamence? That's crazy. And you also kind of want Heal Bell or Aromatherapy because Fortress is pretty likely to take a status, particularly a Burn or a Thunder Wave from the spin blockers slash spinners. Well, primarily Starmie, but yeah, this has been 68 turns now. No Pokemon has gone down. Mint Yerb has 2 unrevealeds. I'm not sure exactly what they would be. If it can't be a Magneton, we would have seen that by now. I do think a bulky water would make some sense on this team. Maybe Milotic, and then another spinner. Double spin is a sometimes commonly seen thing with Fortress. You know, you lose Fortress in order to make some sort of progress early on in a game, and then you have your other spinner to maintain the Spikes advantage for yourself. But that's just conjecture by me. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not too familiar with those 4 on a team. Skarmory coming in on a Gengar switch. Mint Yerb's doing a really good job of not using up too many of Celebi's PP unnecessarily. Whereas tigersuit, well, I guess they're tied on Leech Seeds right now, so kind of a moot point. Oh, now Mint Yerb has the Leech Seed PP lead. That's what you'd like to see. Oh, gave it up. Now it's a tie. Just gonna click a safe recover as this defensive Metagross comes in. I think it's the bulky attacker set. It's possible that they could be running a more defensive variant of that, like an Impish Metagross, but I don't think so. I kind of thought that we were going to see some more offense in game one, but I guess both players just want to play it a little bit more safe. Offense sometimes, if you get a turn wrong, or if you miss a key move, or you get critically hit at the wrong juncture, then you might just lose the game right there. Defense teams tend to have a little bit more backbone that they can navigate through those one-off turns of hacks. The caveat is that with defensive teams, you're not going to be attacking and beating your opponent's Pokemon as quickly, so there's going to be more turns, which means that you're going to have more chances to get hacked. So that's kind of the song and dance that's going on here. We hate to see a Wish go to Skarmory. I mean, Skarmory's such a difficult Pokemon to kill already, and when you make all that progress, get it down to 40%, and it just gets 50% healing all the way back to full, more or less, that's just brutal. Switch to Skarmory on the Blissey, and we have cracked triple-digit turns. That Starmie is still shy, it just does not want to show its face to us. But finally clicks a Surf into Gengar. Has to switch though, because Thunder is way too threatening. But I mean, you always could get full parried. Getting full parried with the Gengar, I feel like is actually a little bit better for Mint Yerb, because it preserves some PP. At least when the Thunder is not landing into something that it makes meaningful progress against, i.e. Skarmory, Salamence, and Starmie. Ooh, Mint Yerb is going to stay in on this Flamethrower Salamence, trying to get the spin. Nice call by them, but we don't really get rewarded for it. Goes to Blissey. And yeah, we're gonna see if we can't stall this Celebi out of some more PP. I've noticed that some of you in the chat, in the comments section, really like when we let the games play out, so I'm not gonna go on fast mode unless we get to a situation where like we're literally just doing repetition of lines. Those of you who are watching, I know you're sickos. You love this long-form ADV content, which is why you should check out Tetrafolium's YouTube channel, where he talks way too long about a lot of things related to ADV. Sometimes not related to ADV. But Mint Yerb now has a fortress that is a Spike Sack. Going to sack it now. Does not want to reveal those last two. I wonder what they are. They better be something that can make some progress here, because I fear that Skarmory is going to be able to get up 2 more layers, and Mint Yerb is going to be bled out of resources. But Juke is not willing to switch this Celebi out of the Gengar. I guess it makes sense. You're making some amount of progress against the Gengar. Gengar can't really do much to you. I'm kind of shocked that this has Thunder, but no move to hit Celebi. It hasn't even revealed its other 2 moves yet. Like, you would think an Ice Punch would come down at some point. I'm guessing it's got to be 2 other utility moves. Maybe Taunt and... I'm not sure. Explosion or Destiny Bond. Alright, we see a second spinner. That is not great for the prospects of this game ending anytime soon, but good for Mint Yerb that they're not completely screwed by that fortress being down. Starmie's going to come in and take a Thunder Wave. If it gets full parried here... Oh, okay, not even going to risk it. But now that Starmie is going to come in at less than 25% HP, meaning that it is very likely to die to most attacks that could be thrown out from Mint Yerb's side. Mint Yerb probably going for a Thunder there, trying to block the Starmie from being able to come in and receive that Wish. It actually would have worked out okay for tigersuit had they went for it because of the full para, although you're going to have to switch the Starmie anyway because you're not making meaningful progress against a Gengar. Playing very disciplined, both of these players. Don't want to give an inch. Drill Peck coming down on the Claydol. Not doing too much damage, but it is going to rack up because Claydol does not have a reliable way to heal itself. It's possible that this Claydol could have Rest, which would also be horrendous for the prospects of this game ending in the next 100 turns or so. But I have definitely seen that before with Blissey, especially Aromatherapy Blissey. But obviously, Blissey cannot have Aromatherapy because it has Wish, and if that's not obvious to you, the answer, or the reason why, is it has to do with egg move compatibility. Blissey is not able to receive the egg moves Wish and Heal Bell / Aromatherapy from the combination of one father. Will-O-Wisp coming down, doing nothing to Skarmory. And then Blissey is going to come in and eat a Will-O-Wisp. The Gengar was not paralyzed here. It could go for a fast taunt to stop the Blissey from being able to soft-boil, which would effectively kill the Blissey. But unfortunately, this Gengar is just going to have to sit and stew in its yellow magic. This is why Thunder Wave is one of the best moves in the game. Rapid Spin, getting rid of that hazard. A possible concern for Juke is running out of Spike's PP. Still have 24 of them, so it's not too likely to happen anytime soon, but you have to keep that in mind. Rapid Spin having 64 PP means that you can run a Spiker out of all of its spikes just by spinning. And that's a little bit of a concern for these more defensively oriented teams like Tigersuits, who do not have a spin blocker, do not have a pursuit trapper, do not have very many means of punishing a spiker, or sorry, a spinner for coming in and spinning. Starmie's gonna come in. Oh man, if there was a Earthquake clicked right there, we would have been so in business. And that Gengar getting fully paralyzed, not able to drop the Thunder on Starmie, that is quite lucky. You had to go for it as Juke though, because switching that Starmie out, coming in on spikes, you would have been at single-digit percentage. It's not looking great for you. I wonder if Thunderbolt would have been better for this Gengar. It gives you 8 more PP. It also gives you, obviously, more accuracy. At the cost of some damage, but it's not like any of the damage is really sticking in this matchup anyway. Alright, Blissey soft boiling. Turn 168. Is this the longest tournament game that has been featured on Revival tournaments? I can't imagine. But a critical hit Drill Peck has come down. Now Gengar is in a lot of trouble. If it manages to stay within surf range from this shy Starmie, who still does not want to show its face to us 172 turns later, then that could be really bad. Oh, and Yerb goes for the Gengar entry, trying to block a spin, and Starmie just clicks Surf and gets the kill. Now this game is opened wide up for our boy Tigersuit. Shockwave doesn't even kill a substitute from Salamence, which is not good. Salamence could opt to go for another substitute here if it so chooses. It was kind of redundant of me to say it like that. Instead, going to trade down with this Claydol a little bit. Psychic looking like it will break a substitute from Salamence. Here's some knowledge for you all. Claydol, if you don't run a minus special attack nature, you invest the very small amount, 8 EVs into special attack. You are guaranteed to break a sub from a no investment Zapdos, which is kind of important because most substitute Zapdos are no investment. They're offensive variants. You don't get that from any other commentator, all right? That kind of ball knowledge. So please say something nice about me in the chat and drive the engagement up, because I know many of you have already clicked off because you saw the turn counter hit triple digits. Yerb is playing this one out, and credit to him, because I think that this position is almost definitely lost. I don't think you have enough tools to really break through this team. I mean, you almost didn't really have enough tools to break through it on Team Preview, but, I mean, obviously you got to play it out. You also have to think that both of these players, this is game 1 of the set. They are wearing away their mentals right now. It's going to become a game of endurance. This is a part of the reason why I like to practice with stall teams, because I know that some of these tournament sets can go really long. And if I'm in the practice of playing 100 plus turn games and my opponent isn't, whether I win or lose that 100 plus turn game, I'm going to be fresher than my opponent is, in most cases, going into the next game. Now, that doesn't always work out, of course. We don't live in a world of ideals. We live in a world of truths. Shoutouts to Black and White. Ooh, okay, we finally ripped the explosion with the Claydol, which is going to force the Celebi to die if a spin is not able to be achieved. Which, I mean, I don't think that there's going to be another spin blocker in the back for Mint Yerb. It is 200, turn 203, and Mint Yerb still has one Pokemon unrevealed. Leech Seed coming down on Blissey. That doesn't make very much progress, but it does get some healing for the Celebi. We're going to see a switch to Blissey as the Wish heals that Skarmory back up. Turn 207. We are speed tying a Jolly Marowak right now. And now we're a Choice Banded Metagross, at least the standard set. 3 spikes going down, and on turn 210, which is defensive Suicune. In the chat, tigersuit said, if you reveal a second ghost, I'll forfeit. That's pretty funny. Turn 212, that is defensive Jirachi with a minus speed nature. There's a lot of speed tiers right in there, between like 200 and like 215-ish. Okay, last mon, Quagsire. Quagsire is kind of cool. It's a possible win condition. I don't know if you're going to be able to break through Celebi. You're also probably not going to be able to do enough to one-shot the Salamence with Ice Beam here. The unfortunate reality of Quagsire is that it has ridiculously low stats as compared to Swampert, so you can't expect it to do the same things that Swampert does. The added benefit of it is that it has Water Absorb, which helps it out against mono water attackers, like, for example, defensive Starmie, which is on Juke's team right now, but also a Rest Talk Suicune. I always want to say Sleepcoon, which that's wrong, but It helps out with Mono Swampert that only has Surf. Some defensive Suicune sets run Roar rather than a second coverage move. So that's pretty important. You definitely want to be pairing that with a Blissey, though, because Quagsire is not very good at beating a Suicune that has coverage moves, like, say, for example, Ice Beam or Hidden Power Grass. All right. Turn 230. There's not really a great speed tier that I know that's 230. Somebody will have to comment below if you're familiar with one of those tiers. I think 229 is max speed modest Vaporeon, or Scizor or Umbreon, if for some reason you want that. Brick Break is threatening a 2-hit KO on Blissey. Blissey's going to have to continue to soft boil to stay out of crit range. Mint Yerb is actually going to allow himself to go into crit range, but we don't get a crit there. 236, I think, is base 100s like Salamence and Celebi with no speed investment. We're about to hit the Tyranitar speed number. Think about that. Oh, I'm excited. I wonder what move is going to be clicked. I'm going to guess Leech Seed from Mint Yerb and a switch to Celebi for tigersuit. That's my hard guess for turn 243. Oh, wait, hold on. Celebi is in. All right, for this to work, Mint Yerb has to switch to Celebi. And it's just not, I'm just not like it. That's unfortunate. Good news for Quagsire is that it does not have to fear any move that Starmie can click, because, I mean, Thunder Wave and Surf are like the only real moves that can be clicked. I guess you could click Rapid Spin, but that's not doing enough damage to even warrant it. So, yeah. Does Starmie get the kill on Celebi here? Juke is not going to attempt it, so I'm going to assume that it doesn't. 248 going into 249. I think that's 252 speed Claydol with no plus nature. Finally kills the Blissey on turn 250. And that is it. A clean 5-0. I'm never in doubt, really. Well, I mean, it kind of wasn't, but Unemployed 6 beats down, I don't know what you would even call this team. It's like Quagsire Fortress Double Spinner. And then we're going to go on to game 2. Okay, it's game 2. We are almost 30 minutes into this recording session, so I need you guys to like and subscribe, and if you can, donate. And you know what? Just for those of you who it really, really bothers, I'm going to switch so that Mint Yerb is on the left this time, alright? We're going to keep the continuity. And hopefully we'll see something a little bit faster paced. Actually, you know what? Let's run it back with another stall team. I would love to see that. Okay, so lead Tyranitar getting up the sand. Metagross is going to click Meteor Mash into a switch to Jirachi. I don't know the head calcs just off the top of my head. If that is a choice banded Metagross, then that must be a defensive Rachi of some sort. Charizard is going to click Substitute. We're going to see what the answer to Suicune is. It is Hidden Power Grass. Roared into Flygon. This is looking like a more offensive variant of Superman for Mint Yerb. Last could be maybe Aerodactyl? Not sure. Skarmory's going to thief a choice band from the Flygon, so that is not great for Skarmory. Tigersuit. It looks like they're playing sort of a variant of V5. Last Mon, probably Dugtrio. I think usually you would see Milotic in the Suicune slot. But no, in fact, it's a Jirachi, so it is a slightly different team. Similar sort of structure with the defensive Water, Claydol, Skarmory, and Blissey. But, yeah, no, we have a little bit more defensive than what I thought we were going to get from Mint Yerb revealing last Mon Blissey. But it does have Flamethrower, which is quite nice into the triple steals. But Blissey is its own worst enemy at times, as it switches in so nicely to itself. Going to get a Focus Punch off, so this is probably a BKC Tar into the the Choice Banded Skarmory. That's HP fighting. We could see a kill there. Going to Roar. That does not look like Choice Banded damage from the Metagross, so I take it that it is probably a... 19's a little bit low. That might be a defensive Metagross again, so thank you, Juke, for playing another defensive team for us. That's what I love about ADV. But we have Sand in this one, so it can only go but so long. Oh, Substitute from Tyranitar. So in fact, is not a BKC Tar. It is a Viltar. Viltar, named after some really old player who's way before my time. Usually the coverage is going to be Focus Punch, which crits the Jirachi. Not that you can really punish that, because your other two moves are Hidden Power Bug and Rock Slide. Most of the time. I guess maybe you could drop Hidden Power Bug, but then you're kind of struggling to hit Celebies and Claydol, so I don't know if I would advise that. Charizard's going to take about a third off of Claydol's health, with leftovers going to be more like a quarter. Not making a lot of progress there. Goes for Toxic on a switch to Skarmory. I imagine we're probably going to see the second layer go down. Yes. See, so many people are hating on the second layer, but sometimes it's just the right click. And this Jirachi is going to reveal Calm Mind. Is it a substitute Jirachi? Yes, it is. Dodges a Thunder Wave thanks to that, and should have enough health to survive a Seismic Toss, should Blissey go for it. Instead, we're going to see a switch to Claydol. Ice Punch would be devastating. It does a lot. But at the very least, Juke is able to break the substitute from the Jirachi. But second Ice Punch is finishing off Claydol. Alright, so most likely other move for Jirachi here is Thunderbolt. Possibly Thunder as well. I mean, we've seen Thunder Gengar this set already. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Thunder Jirachi. But gonna opt to save the Jirachi and get some spikes up here. We're about as good a time as any to get 3 layers. No raise for the Metagross, by the way. And that must be a defensive Metagross to be doing so little to the Skarmory. Or possibly it's a physically defensive Skarmory, which is kind of nice if you can get away with it, but you do like having that special defense to be able to phase Calm Minders throughout the game, as well as giving yourself a chance to live Magneton, although in a tournament setting where you have a little bit more of an idea of what your opponent might bring, sometimes you can get away with not having the Magneton. You see a Hidden Power there. Is that Hidden Power Rock? It looks like it is. Not doing very much damage, so that pretty much confirms my suspicions that that is a defensive Metagross. Usually you prefer Hidden Power Rock on slower, bulkier variants of Metagross so that you don't miss. Mint Yerb is going to substitute down into Blaze range for their Charizard. We're going to see a switch to Suicune, who's taking the Hidden Power Grass. Takes it decently well. There's maybe a chance that we 2-hit KO. Might as well go for it. You have the safety of the substitute. And gets roared into Jirachi, which is not really what Suicune wants to see. Juke in the chat says, I needed anything but that, and then is going to forfeit the game. That's quite unfortunate. I don't know if Juke had tools to win from here. The Blissey's kind of low. It better have Seismic Toss. I'm not sure. I mean, it didn't reveal it, but if it didn't even have Seismic Toss, then we'd be completely screwed in the face of this Jirachi. But yeah, you have so many potential switch-ins to Metagross. You're forcing so much chip with these 3 layers of spikes. Skarmory can only switch into but so many Pokemon on this team. It's looking kind of over, and as Juke is a good player, recognizes that, and is going to spare us another 100 turn slog. Alright, mercifully, this is the last possible game that there could be. Okay, well, actually, that's not true. If there's a tie, then we go to game 4, but do not speak that into existence. Alright. Lead Suicune versus lead Marowak. So that's got to be 2 offense teams. Oh my gosh. Marowak chooses to stay in on Suicune? Hydro Pump would have killed for sure. But I guess Surf didn't. So there we go. I don't know if you can advise that. Maybe hard reading a substitute click from tigersuit. But that's crazy. Registeel is pretty indicative of the Slop archetype. I'm expecting that we'll see an Endeavor Swampert from Mint Yerb. I know that they are like to play that. Although tigersuit likes some Endeavor Swampert himself. Kind of shocking that they're saving it for game 3 here. Would have thought we would have went to it sooner. But Registeel is able to beat down the Suicune thanks to the chip from the Marowak. Registeel is going to get trapped and killed by the Dugtrio, but that leaves a entry point for Salamence. There better be a good switch in. Oh, Mint Yerb is going to double into Swampert, who's going to miss its Toxic and get critically hit by Surf. So, I mean, let's go. How's your day going? Raikou is not looking fantastic into a potential Dugtrio switch-in. Does get a nice turn against this Metagross, though, predicting a Meteor Mash, and sacks off the low-health Swampert for the price of that Metagross. And here's Regice. Oh, man. Regice, my beloved. If Regice wins this, then that proves that it's just the better Reggie as compared to Registeel, and that Regice should be OU again. But, well, Tyranitar is going to finish it off there. Salamence is coming in, going to Dragon Dance, which is fine as long as you don't get crit. You don't get crit, and that's probably game right there. Just have to hit 1 Rock Slide onto the opposing Salamence. But the good news is you're kind of stopping Mint Yerb from being able to go for a Dragon Dance of their own. Well, maybe not. It depends. Mint Yerb probably thinks that they have a slower Salamence. And if that's the case, then you can't really go for it. But if you had the faster Mence and you got the Dragon Dance on that Rock Slide turn, then actually you win this game as Mint Yerb. Very nice to call out that Dugtrio switch with the hidden power Brian, probably Grass. Oh, but you're going to get full parried by the Starmie here. Please, please hit, please hit. Yes! Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to root against my own captain there, but I hate to see a game lost to full paralysis hacks. So, wow, well done. That was roller coaster. And I'm glad I had that endurance. You see, this is what making hour-long YouTube videos about ADV content has prepared me for. And that's going to be it for this game. And I mean, you've watched almost an hour of this set right here. Imagine having to play it in real time. That would be crazy. But as always, please remember to like and subscribe, and check out all of the fantastic content creators. And shout outs to Mint Yerb, our thumbnail artist, for pulling out the W on this one. 6-0. That's awesome.